I walked across the river. I went to the opera. I met this friend. Then I went and got gelato. Then I decided just to walk the streets of Florence.
At night.
It was around midnight. I was looking around and it was just so beautiful. And I was thinking about the opera and all these years I'd wanted to come to Italy, and I was finally here, and I just started to cry because I was just overwhelmed with appreciation and emotion. And I felt like I was living that main girl character life finally, when for years I felt like on the sidelines. I didn't know why I didn't allow myself to do things like, oh, I always want to go there, but like almost like it wouldn't happen. It was really, I'm going through this transition in my life, which is part of my divorce stuff, just doing it for myself.
I love that. I think that that's huge, though.
Yes.
The fact that you traveled alone to another country that you had never been to before. So it's not like you at least had some sort of an idea of what you were going to do or where you were going to go. I think that that's incredible, to be quite frank. Sometimes life just sucks, and sometimes it freaking rocks. We will discuss all the things from family and real estate to travel and just life in general. So take a seat, or don't, you do you, and welcome to the Lumbadass Podcast.
I apologize for my raspy voice this morning.
Yeah.
'Cause I was up very late.
Okay, well, don't even, okay, wait, let me welcome you to the podcast first.
Okay.
I feel like Billy presses record and we just jump straight on into it. So this is very indicative of how
Billy can edit things.
Oh my gosh.
I
kinda
add
like
more
the
work for Billy.
I know. I love the unedited stuff because that's exactly who we are, but it's very indicative of our relationship because like we just come in and it's like, let me vomit what happened. Side note, I noticed in the past podcasts, my voice was so raspy too. And I realized it's because we film after a water polo game. It never fails. So the boys have tournaments today, and I've been taking it easy and drinking my water so that I don't sound and nasally and everything. But what's going on? Why is your voice so raspy?
I'm drinking a liquid IV to just hydrate me because I feel very dehydrated. But
Do you feel puffy?
Yes.
I hate that feeling. It's the worst.
I was a bit late and anyhow, I was just up late. I was out late. I went to Red O. I'd never been there before.
Okay, I've been there. I've been there once, and it was years ago with some good friends of ours and clients. We went with the DeLucas.
Oh, okay.
Love them. And that was the first and last time that I went. I felt like their portions were too small. Fat girl needs a big portion, apparently.
I wasn't even...
You weren't eating, huh?
Well, no, I wasn't.
Oh, okay.
But I guess the thing that I liked so much about it was the atmosphere. Like I walked in. Well, first of all, when my friend suggested, because I wanted to go to Javier's, but I always choose Javier's. And she was like, can we go somewhere different? So I said, sure. She was, let's go to Red O. I don't know why this was like a sushi joint. Red O, it just sounded very, I don't know why I pictured that. Red, Japan. I don't know why I thought that. And I showed up. I'm like, oh, this is Mexican.
No,
cool.
I can see that. And even the vibe there is like when you walk up to it.
Yes.
Okay.
So I walked in and they had candles and lights, and I'm all about the atmosphere.
You went to the one in Newport.
Yes.
Okay.
At Fashion Island.
Yes.
And so I was like, oh my gosh, how long have you guys been here? And the hostess I'm thinking it's like a new place. And the hostess is like thinking, she goes, I think since like 2013. So I'm like, oh, only 10 years. And I thought it was a Japanese restaurant. Anyhow, we sat in the bar. We got a huge pitcher of margaritas. Because
who did you go with?
My friend Georgette.
Okay, I
She's
love
been
her.
my childhood friend since I was 12.
Yes.
So 30 years. Holy
Have I
cow.
even met her in real life?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. And I really love her.
Yeah,
she looks like
she's
a
great.
ball of fun.
She is so fun.
Okay.
She's always up for a good time. So, I'm like, let's just get a pitcher because each drink was like $17.
Oh, shit.
And the pitcher was $90.
Oh.
So if you get like 3 drinks, like, the pitcher like has, I don't know, maybe a dozen drinks in that. I had no idea.
Oh, shit.
So it was a bargain, but
Always looking for a deal on a Thursday night.
but it was so fun. And then we ran into some other people that she happened to know at the bar, and then we became friends and met some other people and made new friends. And we were just there very late. And then as we were leaving, someone at valet, their car got stolen.
Shut up.
Like, yeah, $100,000 car was stolen. I don't know the
Like some random
details.
person or the valet guy stole it?
Well, they were waiting for valet, and valet could not find their car.
Shut
anywhere. And it's not like, you know where, like how the parking is. It's
Yeah,
not like
it's not
some,
hidden.
Like, no, like in LA where like the valet's around the block or something. It's
Right.
like right there. I know. So this morning when I woke up, I texted my friend. I'm like, oh my God, I feel like shit. And she wrote back, at least we didn't get $100,000 vehicle stolen. I said, that is true.
But I feel like somebody who has $100,000 vehicle stolen probably has really good insurance.
Very true.
Because
it's probably just an inconvenience for one day.
Very true. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Unless it's rented. Can you imagine if you rented it to like impress somebody? I say it could have been a woman that drove this car. Who knows?
It was a man. And there are so many bougie people down there like that like act like they have money. And
I love
they
it.
Don't.
I live for that, to sit there and watch people think, or to sit there and think that people care that much, strangers care that much about what you have, is mind blowing to me.
It's like going into another world. I mean, I love Newport.
I do too.
That area. I grew up down there.
Is that your favorite Southern California beach?
It is. That actually, when I just did my will and trust, and I want my ashes in Newport Back Bay because some of my best childhood memories are from those times.
Can you dump them in the bay? Don't you have to go out a certain amount?
I think you have to have like a permit. So.
Oh, I've seen where they put the ashes like in a turtle or something, and then they drop it, and then the turtle.
Or it will be done illegally, but the people in charge of my trust know that's where I want my ashes spread.
Okay.
And a celebration of life. Something fun. Going out with a bang.
So worst case scenario, somebody could always put your ashes on the floor and then accidentally kick them off.
On the boat.
If somebody tries to don't spread my ashes in the ocean.
Okay.
Like, for real, I don't want my ashes spread in the ocean. Actually,
fish eating them?
I don't like the ocean.
The water, okay.
Okay, I like the ocean when I can see the bottom. So like the Caribbean, I'm here for it. Sure. But I know that with the tide, I'm not going to stay in the Caribbean. This is so lame. I can't even believe I'm discussing this. I don't want to be in there. I don't like the ocean. Like David will jump in the ocean, like in the middle of the ocean.
Yeah.
We used to have a boat that we would take from Newport, and we would go to, I almost said Balboa. I'm like, we didn't go to Balboa. We left like from there. Catalina, thank you. Mm-hmm. And he would be like, I'm going to jump in and cool off. And I'm like, oh, what?
Yeah.
You're out of your mind. And then one time there was a sunfish, like sunbathing. He like flips the boat around and jumps in and tries to catch this fish. And I'm like, get the hell back in the boat and drive us to Catalina, please. Oh my gosh. Like,
I'm not an ocean person either. So I don't know. It's just when I go down there, even when I had to walk around last week because my car is getting serviced, and then that was a whole ordeal then through the weekend and rental cars and blah, blah, blah. But I started to cry. I'm an emotional person. I literally did the walk that I used to do as a little girl. And then we used to my dad had a boat business, and then I don't know, probably 3 nights out of the week, we would get on the boat. He was a West Coast distributor for cigarette boats, and then go and dock over by the Chart House. And that was his favorite restaurant. And we'd have dinner there, and then we'd come back. And it just represents like this innocence. And I'm a very nostalgic person. Mm-hmm. And so, so it's not even that I love the ocean, because I actually will not jump in the middle of the ocean either, because I'm scared of sharks.
Yeah, me too.
But my dead body ashes, I'm good with that.
You're good. Fine. So I actually want my ashes to be given to those closest to me in like tubes, like cigar tubes, if you will.
Yeah.
I mean, something better than that, like for ashes.
Yeah.
And I want that person to spread my ashes wherever they think of me the most.
That's really sweet.
Yeah. So I'm going to be all over the place, which kind of makes me happy, because Connor's like, well, I'm going to take you to Paris. And I'm like,
I was thinking it had to be Paris.
Yep. And I'm like,
some of your
perfect.
ashes. Yeah.
And Jared loves Italy. So I'm like, hey, if you spread my ashes in Italy, I'm not going to be upset at all. So
just not in the water.
No, I know. Yeah, not in the ocean. I know. I just don't like it. And then it was funny because my sister has Grandma Sally's ashes. And, I was very close with my grandma, and I just love her so much. I see pictures. I'm so lucky because I dream about her a lot. Wow. So I'm grateful that I get to see her in my dreams. At first, I would wake up really sad and missing her. And now I'm getting to the point where in our last dream, she fist bumped dumped me, which is so freaking funny. Grandma Sally was funny.
She used to do that?
Absolutely not. That's why it makes it
absolutely.
No.
I was like, oh wow.
No, never in my life did Grandma Sally ever fist bump me, but it was hilarious.
I wonder what that means.
I don't know. Because she doesn't talk in my dreams. Like, I tell her how beautiful she looks and that I love her. And then she smiled at me, gave me the biggest smile, fist bumped me. And I'm like, okay, cool. My cousins were there. It was very cool. But anyways.
So her spirit was coming to tell you something.
I
totally believe in that.
I do too. I have crazy dreams. I dream about David's grandpa too.
Really?
I think people that I just felt so loved by, I dream about them a lot.
I used to dream about I was very close with my grandma, my mom's mom. And for the first 5 years after she died, I dreamt about her all the time. But now I rarely dream about her, every once in a while.
Yeah, I don't like it when I don't dream about her. I will try to go to bed thinking about her so that I will dream about her. It doesn't work that way though. Because if it did, I would be dreaming about her almost every night. But I love it. And every time she comes in my dream, I'll text all my family and I'm like, I got to see grandma last night. It was so great. So anyways, my sister has her ashes. And so when I went up to go see my sister for Labor Day, Gretchen's like, do you want to take some of grandma home with you? And I was like, can you travel across state lines I almost said straight lines, state lines with somebody's ashes? Is that a thing? Like in an airplane?
I would think so.
Okay. I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
But I didn't want TSA confiscating. Could you even imagine the pandemonium that would happen in the middle of the TSA line if they tried to take my grandmother's ashes from me? I would lose my shit. They'd be like, bitch, you ain't cleared. You're not TSA pre-checked no more. Like, you're nothing. And then that would be awful. So I told Gretchen, I was like, hey, you're going to be driving down here during Christmas. Bring me some of grandma's ashes then.
Oh, perfect.
So my mom was like, where are you going to put grandma's ashes? And I'm like, I don't know. And I'm like, one of the last places, the place that I found out that she had passed away, we were at Walt Disney World. And one of the last trips that we took with grandma was to Walt Disney World. And she had her little cart and she was so excited to be there with her great grandbabies. It was just, I have the cutest pictures of Carson standing on her cart with her. And there's a picture of Jacob. I don't know why in the hell he was sitting in her chair. Maybe it was my mother-in-law's, but he's sitting there with a hat on, like a woman's hat. And I'm like, where in the hell was Grandma Sally? I don't remember. So it could have been my mother-in-law's motor scooter. But anyways, I just have so many great memories there. So I'm like, I think that we should dump her at Walt Disney World. That's not a thing. You cannot do that. Apparently they will confiscate you for forever from their parks. And so my mom's like, yeah, you'll have to kind of do it nonchalantly, over in a bush. And I'm like, there is no such thing as nonchalant at Disney World. You've got eyes on you 24/7. You are under constant scrutiny at that place. So there's no chance in hell that I would even be able to do that there. But I like the idea of being with whoever gets a little bit of me, them spreading my ashes wherever they feel me the most or wherever they have the best memories with me.
That's a great idea. You're making me feel like I should edit my will.
No, girl, go out with a bang. You said, it's all about you.
But I like that because I do want my kids to be able to go, I'm going to discuss this with them.
You should, because even if you give the girls each one a vial.
I'll put some of mine in there for what I want.
Yeah.
And then they can do it. Because Sienna, if she could, we still have our dog's ashes, our very first family dog's ashes.
Oh.
And when she misses Harvey, she'll take the box and sleep with it at night. And that's so Sienna. So I could see her carrying a vial of, she would actually probably want to go put it at the Gilmore Girls set. That just hit me because that's our thing.
She could do that. She could even turn it into a diamond that she can wear.
Yeah, man.
I know. So give a little to Jules, a little to Sienna, and then take the rest and dump your ass overboard. Done.
Yes.
That was great.
Yes.
But then I wonder how big are people's ashes? I've never actually seen a bag of somebody's ashes.
Oh, you haven't?
I haven't. It's not a lot, right?
I've seen both of my grandmother's ashes.
Was it a lot?
It's very different. I expect it to be like sand, but it's almost chunky, looks like fish food.
I pictured it to be, this is probably so inappropriate.
Flaky.
I pictured it to be more powdery.
That's what I thought too.
Oh.
But maybe at the bottom it would be with the flakes and stuff, but
you get more mashed up the longer you sit in that bag.
Perhaps.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah. Well, anyways, we're here to talk about Italy.
Oh my gosh. Minute 87. What minute are we on, Billy? 13. Okay, 13.
Now that we talked about her last will and testament.
Okay, so did I even welcome you? Yes, I did. I welcomed you to the podcast. Perfect. You're 13 minutes in. I try to keep the podcast around 20 to 30 minutes. But we never got to finish talking about your trip to Italy.
Well, we never started my trip to Italy. We only
we ended in London. Okay. Because it was kind of a shit show getting there.
It was. So that was a long story to explain.
But the whole, like the end game was to be in Italy.
Yes.
Okay. So in 10 minutes.
Okay.
Go. Tell me, like, I want to know, and I really wanted to dive even more deep into this. So we'll have to do another, because I want to know what travel advice you have for people traveling solo. And then I have so much traveling advice for people who don't travel solo and travel with families. So I really want to do a podcast on that, because I think that's beneficial to a lot of people. But tell me the rest of your trip. So you got done with London and you were on your flight. I wanted to talk about, you met an unfriendly host.
Oh, Airbnb?
Yes.
I think we talked about that in the last podcast.
Oh, shit. Did we?
Did.
Okay.
Yeah, we covered him.
Okay, good. And I'm glad that he's done and over with. So what did you do coming out of that? So you started where? In Italy.
I landed in Florence with no sleep for 48 hours. And I already had missed my morning tour. Well, first of all, I've wanted to go to Italy my entire life, like as a child. And I was always waiting for someone to take me, my husband, a boyfriend, even going with a girlfriend. And it just didn't happen. And so I just have this opportunity when the girls go and visit their grandparents in New York every summer to travel. And I was so excited, and I decided I'm just going to take myself to Italy.
I love it.
That's what I did. So I landed in Florence and got to my hotel real quick. Then I showered, I had dinner quickly, and I went and saw an opera at an old church. And
did you have tickets for that in advance?
I got that off of an Airbnb experience.
Stop it right now.
$30. It was amazing. And this beautiful, and it was just sit wherever. And so I sat in the very front. And then this other solo female traveler, she's like, is anyone sitting here? So we sat together and became friends. And there were two vocalists and then one pianist. And it was so, because I love music.
I didn't even realize that you had gone to an opera.
Oh, you didn't? I didn't tell you this?
I feel like I didn't know this.
It was on my story. David must have seen it and didn't share it with
I'm not even kidding. You know that shit happened. Well, because when we go to Paris for our 20th wedding anniversary, I want to go to an opera. So I was looking at what we were going to go to and stuff, and obviously it's all in French. And I'm like, this is going to be so incredible. So this was a
amazing.
Great experience
but this
for you.
was casual, because it was just like put together, but it was perfect. It was exactly what I wanted, what I needed. It was very hot because Italy's going through a heat wave during that time.
Yep.
And so there's no air conditioning in these old churches, but it was gorgeous. I walked across the river. I went to the opera. I met this friend. Then I went and got gelato. I went back to my hotel to get a shot of espresso because I was going on no sleep. And then I decided just to walk the streets of Florence.
At night.
It was around midnight. And I love walking a city at midnight. I did the same thing in Paris, but with my girlfriend. And I wasn't sure how I'd feel on my own. I mean, I'm pretty adventurous in that sense. But that couple on the plane had kind of scared me a little bit.
Right.
They were just trying to be parental towards me, but it kind of scared me. But then once I was there, I'm like, oh my God, I felt like I was in adult Disneyland.
Was it crowded?
There was people out, but no, it wasn't crowded. And so I just walked around and I went to all the piazzas.
Piazzas.
Palazzo's like a castle, right? Piazza.
I'm down for both, to be honest.
To all the right? Is that right? The piazza, like the squares, like the town squares, and
they call them plazas. Plazas. The Plaza Madama is where we stayed.
Is it? But what is piazza? Where am I getting this from?
I don't know. Maybe you're thinking about pizza. Pizza
I know. I
delicious.
think it's a piazza something. Anyhow,
you're probably right.
Anyhow, I was in one of these areas and I was looking around and it was just so beautiful. And I was thinking about the opera and all these years I'd wanted to come to Italy, and I was finally here, and I just started to cry because I was just overwhelmed with appreciation and emotion. And I felt like I was living that main girl character life finally, when for years I felt like on the sidelines. I didn't know why I didn't allow myself to do things like, oh, I always want to go there, but like almost like it wouldn't happen. It was really, I'm going through this transition in my life, which is part of my divorce stuff from 5 years ago, but just doing it for myself.
I love that. I think that that's huge, though.
Yes.
The fact that you traveled alone to another country that you had never been to before. So it's not like you at least had some sort of an idea of what you were going to do or where you were going to go. I think that that's incredible, to be quite frank. And I have to tell you, and mine is for a little bit of a different reason. When we were in Italy, we, in 2018, we took the boys and David really wanted to eat at La Conda Caparini. And I'm probably butchering that name, but it is a restaurant that Princess Diana used to take her boys to.
Oh, yes, you told me about
And I
that.
told David, I was like, if it's good enough for Princess Di, it is good enough for me. So we took the longest fucking ferry ever because we were in Venice. And so it's on another island, and I can't think of the island. It's not Lido. I can't remember what it is off the top of my head. But anyways, we're there and we're sitting, and just to kind of put it like in your mind, we had like these vines growing over us, and we were like out in it. We took pictures there. I mean, we were drinking wine, and I put my hands on the table, and I just looked up, and I looked down the table of all my family, my mom, my dad, my 4 boys. Ashlyn was with us, David, and myself, and I just started crying. And I'm like, if you would have told me even 5 years ago that I would be sitting at the same restaurant that Princess Diana used to take her boys to in frickin' Italy, I would have told you you're out of your mind, just because of where we had been so recently financially. But to be able to build ourselves out of that and to be there together. So while my story is a little bit different and the reasoning of our tears are a little different, I get being emotional and just being in that moment and truly enjoying it.
Yeah.
Okay, so you were in Florence, and then
So
where
I was
did you
there
go?
for 2 nights. The next day I did an art history tour, and I did a tipsy tour that night too. So we went to like all the best bars, and they had these
So
hidden
fun.
little wine windows that they created during the plague. And so got limoncello there.
It's almost like COVID.
Yes.
It's like, okay,
Yes.
I have to stay away from you, but here's your wine through
And
a
you
little
ring
itty bitty
the little
door.
bell.
Stop.
So cute.
She likes to teach her
So
hair
the
color.
next day I got on a train and I went to La Spezia, which is like the gateway to Cinque Terre.
Yes.
So I stayed there. I walked around. I had dinner. I went to the harbor. And then, what did I do? Oh, the next day I did a pasta and pesto making class.
Wait, you went to the harbor. What harbor?
In La Spezia.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
What is there to do there?
Nothing. Just like walked around, saw the beautiful yachts, had dinner near there, and then came back to my hotel. And then the next morning I went to, it was someone's home/restaurant up in the hills of La Spezia.
I saw your photos. It was
Yes.
incredible.
I thought I could walk, but because it was only 2 miles away.
Oh, that's what you were saying. But
Yes.
then this driver, you guys, you don't even understand. The driver in her videos, like going up these windy roads and shit. She's passing cows and stuff. And I'm like, she's like, I was
very
going to walk
steep.
this. And I'm like, you were very, very ambitious on this trip.
Yeah, I was. So I got there, and this region's known for pesto. So I made pesto, and that
Pesto,
was-
what? Did you make gnocchi?
No, we made just pasta, but pesto first, and
Okay.
then made the homemade pasta. But
So
that was
good.
something too. I've always wanted to learn how to cook, and my ex-husband did all the cooking. It was like get out of my kitchen type thing. He wanted the kitchen,
Sure.
so I was like, sure, I'll drink wine and I'll eat your food.
Amen.
So it was good, but I've never felt like another thing I've always wanted to, but for some reason I've never done it. And so before I even went to Italy, I was like, I'm going to learn how to cook while I'm there. So this was another Airbnb experience, and I didn't know how easy it was to make pasta. So I did that.
You can do it at your house.
I know.
We're actually doing homemade raviolis on Sunday.
Oh, fun.
And I'm so excited. Yeah. No, it was funny. My dad's like, who wants to come over and make homemade raviolis on Sunday? And I was like, absolutely me. Thank
Yeah.
you very much.
Yeah.
So yeah, David and my dad had actually planned it. And then my girlfriend wanted to go have dinner and drinks and stuff. And I'm like, oh wait, I didn't realize David had booked this. So that's what we're doing. It is very easy to make pasta.
It is, and it's fun.
It is.
So then right from there, I met new friends that were from Sweden. So they drove me because they had driven by car.
They were siblings?
Yes, they
Okay.
were siblings.
Uh-huh.
And they dropped me off at my hotel. I did a quick change into my bathing suit and then hopped on a train because I was supposed to do a sunset tour of all of the 5 lands for Cinque Terre.
Uh-huh.
But then my tour got canceled while I was on the train
Oh, shit.
because of rough waters. So I just stopped. I stopped at 3 of the lands out of the 5.
Okay.
And toured them. I had appetizers and wine, and it was just beautiful. And then,
How was it like eating by yourself?
Oh, I have no problem doing that here.
So
I eat by myself all the time.
Like go to restaurants and eat by yourself?
Yeah, I'll sit at the bar. I love that actually.
Really? I don't think I've ever
Really?
done that ever.
I love going to the movies by myself too.
Not that I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I can't think of a time, even when I travel for work. I'm like, I'll just go to bed. I'm tired.
Interesting.
I'm such an old lady. Maybe that's what it is.
The only thing I haven't done by myself that I really want to do, and I'm gonna do it this December, is go to a concert by myself. That for some reason is more scary to me. But
Really? I think I would rather go to a concert
Really?
than go out to eat.
Really?
I'd rather go to a concert with myself than go out to eat with myself. Yes.
Okay, well, I'm going to do it. But anyway,
What concert are you going to go to?
I'm going to go see Stevie Nicks because this is another thing that
Perfect.
I wanted to do and I haven't gone. And
That's-
Fleetwood Mac is my favorite
Yep,
band.
I knew
and
that.
So this may be my only chance to see her.
I think that's awesome. So finish telling me.
Yeah. So I went to Cinque Terre. I did all that. Then the next day I took a train to Rome and it was about a 4-hour train ride. Got to I had an Airbnb in Rome, and then I had another pasta making class booked. I saw the Colosseum. I did
Did you do a tour there?
On the outside. I did a tour with Pedro, and it was an archaeology tour. That's what it was, and he was amazing.
Really?
He had an iPad, sorry, to show us like what it looked like back in the day, and here it was. And
How did you find him?
Tour guide off of Airbnb.
So, okay.
Almost everything I did was Airbnb experiences, except for one food tour I did in Rome, in that area that's supposed to be kind of like the Brooklyn of Rome.
Yep.
Travettere. Is that what it's called? Travettere?
I don't even know what it's called, but I know what you're talking about.
Traverse?
Yes.
I don't know, something like that. It's across the river.
Yep.
That was the only non-Airbnb experience.
How did you book that?
I forget how I found that.
Because I book everything on Viator, but
That's
I
what you
have
said.
seen the Airbnb tours.
I
as
loved
well.
it.
Okay.
Yeah, it was great.
I need to look into those for sure.
Yeah, so I did more pasta making with Chef Lorenzo.
Of course.
Who was like,
course.
all the girls were like, who is that hot chef? Like when they saw
Is he
the
hot?
picture. He's a very attractive man.
Fantastic.
And
And he knows
owns
how
a
to cook?
restaurant called Grandma's after his grandma. It's really sweet. So we made 3 pastas with him. Had bruschetta. He made that while like the pasta was cooking, and we had wine, and they had jazz music playing, and it was in this flat in Rome, and that was amazing. And
Was it air conditioned?
it was.
Thank God.
Because I showed up there with a soaking wet dress.
Because you had been running all over creation?
Because I had walked 2 miles. Because I thought it's no big deal and it's flat. And
You thought that. You thought that before, though.
and I show up and I didn't even realize because the humidity. So I show up and his assistant there, his sous chef, is there. And she only speaks Italian and Portuguese. And he hadn't shown up yet. And I was the first to arrive. I come into the flat and she looks like at my back and she goes, "Oh, Mamma Mia!" And I was like, "Oh my God, what?" Like I'm like looking at my back, and she like holds up my dress, and it is soaking wet.
Oh,
So
shit.
she gets me a hair dryer. I'm in the bathroom like drying myself.
Bless
off.
her heart.
I know, she was so sweet.
You meet the coolest people
I
traveling.
do. The universe brings me good people. I'm very thankful for that.
So where's your next trip?
Well, I was thinking I want to go to Portugal and Spain. However, Amsterdam suddenly keeps popping up on my news feed, and I think I might want to go to Amsterdam.
You could probably kill all those 3 birds with 1 stone.
True. Although when I went to Italy, I was there 9 days.
Yeah.
And
Wasn't enough.
no,
That's true
I
because
got all the highlights, which was great. I definitely though want to go back because there's so much I didn't get to see, and I like to feel like I live there, like a native.
so then maybe Amsterdam, I just feel in my experience they eat a lot of fried food. So
I
like
do love fried food.
yeah, but day 2 with not a vegetable in sight, I was like,
Oh, really?
losing my mind. Yeah,
Oh.
everything's fried. You want cauliflower fried. You want
Really?
broccoli fried. You want a
How are
salad
they so
fucking fried.
fit?
Everything's fried
How are they so fit over there?
because they ride their bikes and they walk
That's right,
everywhere.
It's a biking town.
It's a
That's
very
what
cool
they're
biking
known
town.
for.
Yeah.
Right.
And they don't give a shit. If you're in the way, they're running you over. So you have to watch out for bikes. There's more bikes than people in Amsterdam. So they don't care. These bikes are like cheap ass bikes. So if they leave a bike and then they go and their bike's gone, they're like, I'll just take this one. They take another one and they go. Like they don't even lock them up. At least the ones that we saw were not locked up. It's very interesting. Amsterdam is
So I don't
absolutely
even need
beautiful.
to rent a bike. I can just take someone.
Absolutely. And nobody's going to give a shit. It's a very beautiful, beautiful, beautiful area. I also highly recommend that you go on the outskirts because you can actually go take tours of windmills and stuff and see how they were actually used. Some of them are still used to this day. Yes, you can go to Kinderdijk and go see all that stuff.
I love that.
And then do Spain and Portugal together. So, well, you'll have to keep me posted on that.
I will.
You're the best. Thank you for finishing up your story on your solo trip. I'm so proud of you for going.
Thank you.
Of course.